Hey everyone, before we start, I just want to talk about Rengar's items and roots. And the first item I'd go for is Divine Sunder. Since we are building Bruiser Rengar rather than the Assassin type, this would be perfect for him because not only does this give us more sustain, it also has HP, damage, ability haste, as well as a Shin passive, which also increases our damage overall. Second item I'd go for is Black Cleaver. Similar to the Divine Sunder, this is perfect for Bruisers because not only does this give us more HP, it also has damage, ability haste again, and a Sunder passive which decreases the armor of your opponents. Third item I'd go for is a Seal-Plated Stasis. You can go for the Mercury Threads if they have a lot of crowd control, but generally I'd rather go for the Stasis enchant rather than the Stone Plate. Stone Plate is also okay, but it's easily countered by Serpent's Fang, and it doesn't give you much more survivability as compared to the Stasis, especially on the late game. After this, we can go for the Death's Dance. This is really good on Rengar, giving us more sustain, damage again, a bit of armor, and more ability haste. Since we have 3 items that gives us ability haste, we would be able to spam our skills more, granting us more damage and sustain with the use of the second skill. Then the next item I would go for is the Amaranth Swing Guard. Since we already have a lot of damage with our first 3 items, the next thing that we would want is more sustain and tankiness throughout a team fight. Since Rengar is a very slippery champion, we can last longer in a team fight thanks to our second skill, and combining it with the Amaranth Swing Guard, we would become even more tankier overall. Then the last item I would go for is Guardian Angel, since this would give us a bit of damage and most importantly a second life. If our GA is on cooldown, there are several other options that you could go for. Number 1 is the Frozen Heart. If they are AD heavy, this would be perfect in decreasing their attack speed, giving you more durability, which is armor, as well as more ability haste for you to spam your skills. If they're AP heavy, Force of Nature is another perfect alternative item that you could go for, giving you magic resist as a fight goes on. Going to the runes, the first rune I would go for is Conquer. This is Rengar's bread and butter rune. He could easily stack this with all of the skills that he has, giving us more damage as well as lifesteal. Then the second rune I would go for is Hunter Vampirism. This synergizes well with Rengar's passive, which is the trophies. So if we're able to stack trophies, we would also get Hunter Vampirism stacks, which would increase your damage and lifesteal overall. An alternative rune for this would be Triumph. This is also good if you would want to deal a bit more damage when targets are low on HP and have a bit more sustain. But overall, Hunter Vampirism is much more reliable, especially if we're able to stack this early on. Then the third rune I would go for is Perseverance. This is perfect if the opponents have a lot of crowd control, giving you more armor MR throughout the team fight. If they don't have much crowd control, you could go for the Adaptive Carapace, which grants you more HP and MR armor depending on the opponent, or you could even go for the Conditioning if you would want to go for the long con scaling game. But overall, Perseverance is a really great rune for Rengar. Then the last rune I would go for is Transcendence. Since we are very dependent on ability haste, this is perfect for us, giving us lower cooldowns, especially when we get to the late game, as well as more time to spam our skills, which gives us more damage, sustain, as well as crowd control. And with that, that is Rengar's items and runes, and I will see you guys in game. Going to the game, I'm going to be showing you how to play Bruiser Rengar and teach you how to use his skills properly. In this matchup, we're up against Aatrox, and in a Rengar versus Aatrox, this should be quite even, with Rengar having a bit of an edge when it comes to the gank due to his ultimate, but when it comes to the team fights, it might be a bit favored for Aatrox because his ultimate allows him to reset in team fights as well. So it's up to the junglers on how they would be able to abuse their leads and very highly dependent on the team as well. I place a control ward on the top side so I would know which scuttler the Aatrox would go for or if there's gonna be a possible gank at the mid side. The clear that I'm doing is a red side clear, where I go for the Krugs, Red Raptors, and Flex, depending on what would happen around the map. Rengar is kind of an all-around jungler. You could build him damage, tank, or even initiate on team fights. That's what's good about Rengar is that he can do a lot of things, but the most important when using this champion is that you're able to stack your passive. And in order to be able to stack your passive, which is the trophies, or you're using Hunter Vampirism, you need to get kills or takedowns. Rengar's clear is quite fast since he has a lot of damage spells, and with the empowered skills, he also can deal more damage. So it's quite above average, and he could get level 5 pretty fast. And seeing that their Draven is playing very aggressive, we try to look for a level 3 gank. I get full stacks, then go with the third flash, hit him with the net, and we're able to get the last hit. So another thing about Rengar is that you could use your third skill then flash so that the Draven would not be able to react with his own flash. Perfect start. Wukong is able to get a solo kill at the Baron lane as well. There's a ward in the bush, but I chose to clear the scuttle first, just in case the Aatrox might be there. And as soon as I confirmed that he's not there, I know that he would be at the bot side. After clearing the scuttler, the next thing that I would want to do is to get level 5. And once you reach level 5, you would always want to use your ultimate as much as possible, because if you're able to get successful ganks or successful kills, not only will it give you gold, but it will give you the much needed trophies as well. So keep in mind to always look at your trophy count, especially if you want to go for a burst damage build. But for today, we are going for a more Bruiser, tanky build, all around Rengar that can do anything that he wants. You could go for the engage, you could go for the catch, you can damage as well, and we're very tanky with a lot of sustain. After going for a full clear, I looked to see if I could go for a top lane gank, but seeing that the opponents just went for a reset, I go for a reset myself and look for another gank. I see that Aatrox going for a bot lane gank is able to take down the Wukong, and he makes a fatal mistake of clearing my Krugs. So we go in for the punish. Unfortunately, we're not able to secure the Krugs, but the more important thing is that we're able to take down the jungler, which gives us gold and trophy stacks, as well as Hunter Vampirism. I wanted to give the wave to Wukong, but seeing that he's quite far and there's no cannon minion, I had to take some of the minions. But overall, this is a very, very good start for us because we're 2-0, have a lot of trophies. Most likely, we're able to complete the Sunder before the first objective. So we just need to play smart and help our teams get their respective leads as well. With the red buff spawning, I wait for it to go out. And with my ultimate still on cooldown, I have to wait for it before doing anything else, unless there's someone that's playing very greedy. Scuttle is spawning bot side, which is perfect for us. And with the dragon spawning in about a minute, this should give us vision and knowledge on where their enemy jungler might be. We clear the Scuttle, look for another gank. I could go for mid or bot, but as soon as I see Draven flash in, I know that there's no way out, and we go for the punish. I could have went for the volley bear, but mid lane was a more sure gank, and when we're able to take down the Draven, we remove stacks from his passive as well. Aatrox is doing a good job doing plays around the map. He's able to gank bot lane, now he's able to gank top and help his team still be in the game. He's also able to get plates, which is a lot. I think they're able to get 3 plates top side. Unfortunately, Wukong falls down at the Baron lane. I try to look for someone to catch, or at the very least cancel their backs, so that we would be able to get a dragon. I have my second skill to get some of my HP. Aatrox deals a lot of damage with a sweet spot on his first skill, and as soon as Lucian shows up, I have no choice but to flash. I played it a bit risky. I wanted to just cancel their ports, but I have to port myself since I'm quite low. Overall, what's most important is that we don't die, and we could still go for an objective take. Looking at the position of my team, Wukong is not there to help, and there's a chance that it might be a 4v5, and with that, Wukong starting to rotate, so we should be able to secure the dragon. And as soon as I see Aatrox at the mid lane, he's quite far. Katarina is able to get a kill mid, which is really good. I removed the ward before starting the objective again, and seeing that the Aatrox is quite far, we would be able to secure him before he arrives. I use my ultimate for some vision and to know where the jungler is. With the Ref Herald still up, we would be able to take this if we're in the proper position. I scared the volley bear a bit, just in case he goes for an overextend, we could go for the punish. But in the end, we just go for the Ref Herald. I have a ward at the top side, but we don't have any ward at the blue. So we go for a 50-50 risk. If Aatrox is there, we just go for a smite fight. But really good that we're able to get this for free. Every jungler's dream to get both first objectives and the first tower possibly. because we have Herald, we should be able to get the first tower. After all that's happened, all of our camps are up, and I would want to farm first before doing anything else in the map. My ultimate is still on cooldown, and seeing that Wukong is quite low, I know that Aatrox would go for another bot lane gank. We go poke the Aatrox a bit. I make a crucial mistake because I used my third skill for a snare rather than a second skill for the heal, and we immediately get punished for it. So really bad. I thought we would be able to snare the Aatrox on their tower, and the Aatrox would and the tower would be able to take Aatrox down, but you know, that's what's very crucial about Rengar, is that you need to know what empowered skill to use as much as possible. And with that, the opponents are able to get first tower even though I have Rift Herald. Katarina is able to get a takedown, bot side 1-for-1 trade. The good thing is that our duo lane was able to win the matchup, and with Kai'Sa getting a lot of gold, this is good for us, especially when we get to the late game. What's happening now is I'm just scaring Draven a bit because I would want to summon the Rift Herald as fast as possible since the plates would be gone at 7:30. And with that, we're able to buy some time, get plates in the mid lane, and we proceed to go for the Scuttle Crab. My ultimate is up. I could go for a top lane gank, but I'm waiting for Kai'Sa right now. Unfortunately, the tower is already gone, so I have no choice but to go for an engage. Good ulti by Nami. She falls down, but I'm here. We take down Karma with the use of our first skill. Kai'Sa pretty low, and he's able to take down the Lucian as well. Oops! Aatrox Raven shows up, and look at the second skill, giving me so much healing. If I just used it a while ago at the bot side, I would have lived there. And this is where the potential of Rengar shines the most. If the opponents try to burst Rengar and you have your second skill, you'd basically get all of your HP back unless they have anti-healing in their kit. So far, they don't have any ignites or anti-healing. And see, I was able to heal myself twice, negating most of their burst damage. With everything done, we go for another clear. I just want to get my items. Cleaver, another huge item that I would want to complete, because this would not only make me tankier, it would also give me a lot of damage and ability haste, which allows me to spam my skills more. With back cleaver being completed, I just have to wait for it a bit. My ultimate is up as well, so I could go for a gank. I choose to go for the bot side because Volibear is a bit overextended. Unless he falls back, we could go for an easy gank. Fortunately, he goes back. He plays it a bit smart, but I could still commit. Worst case scenario, we zone out the Volibear and take the tower instead. But seeing that the Volibear playing very aggressive, we go in, wait for Volibear to be on the open space, trap him with the third skill. Aatrox is able to arrive. We heal some of the damage, jump into the creep, get max stacks, and use our second skill again to give us an MS boost plus a bit of HP. Wukong is able to escape. Katarina's there to help. Quite tanky, the Volibear, but overall, what's most important is that there's no trade that happened. Red buff is up. We just take it. Then we go back for some HP. And the objective is spawning in a bit. We regroup. Looking at the map, I think Katarina went in for an all-in. She gets taken down, which is very bad. I used my ultimate, which just got up. Look to go for a poke. Jump onto the Aatrox, get a trap. I still have my first skill. Poke the Lucian, abuse the bush. While waiting for my cooldowns, I have my second skill. Look at the HP. I just got my whole HP back. And I still have a lot of skills going off cooldown. Snare the Lucian, tanking a lot of damage. Just spamming my second skill. We basically tanked their whole team as well as deal damage at the same time, and that's some crazy healing. I play a bit greedy here. I should have just went for the tower. Aatrox hits all of his first skill, but if you saw what happened in that team fight, I was able to heal at least 2,000 health or have 3 bars on my health. And that's the power of having Sunder plus Cleaver. Not only will you deal a lot of damage, you have a lot of innate sustain and a lot of HP you could get your HP back from. Even if it was a 4v5, not only are we able to win the fight, we're also able to secure the objective. The next item I bought here is Stasis, and this would allow me to buy time. I could have gone for the stone plate as well, but I'm more comfortable using the stasis rather than the stone plate, which gives a bit of shields, because stasis allows us to buy time and wait for our skills to go off cooldown. With all of our camps up, I just go for another full clear. Even though we're building Bruiser, our clear is still quite fast since we have a lot of damage in our items. Our team gets a good pick off at the bot lane. Most likely, we would be able to take the bot tower. After clearing the raptors, I see that the scuttle is up. I'd want to get this before going for a bot lane gank. I see that Karma is trying to defend. Lucian is at the side. I play a bit aggressive. Since Karma is the only one there, I use my ultimate. We go for the punish. Tank the tower. We get her down. Aatrox shows up. Tries to defend as well. But with 5 members up, we should be able to take it down. But Lucian uses his ultimate to clear the wave. We go around again. I know that I'm quite tanky. We have a lot of healing with our second skill. And then we use the second skill again. As soon as we get slowed, with the additional MS that we have, look, we're just spamming our second skill over and over again, and we just get our HP back. Worst case scenario, if we get brought down into critical HP, we have our stasis and flash. With that really good team fight win, we're able to secure the free Baron and take the tower bot as well. So there are two paths that I could go for. If we didn't have a front line, I could have gone for the Amaranth's Twin Guard. But since we have some front line with the Wukong, plus we're snowballing the game, Death's Dance is a much better option. Because not only does Death's Dance give us more damage, it also has ability haste and sustain when we're able to get a takedown. So not only do we have sustain from our second skill, we will also have additional sustain from the Death's Dance when we're able to get a takedown. Katarina is really strong as well right now. She's able to take down the Karma. And I use my ultimate to look for someone shoving the top side just in case. But seeing that no one is there, I go for the mid instead. Look for someone to catch. Playing very front. I know that I have my second skill to cancel all of the crowd control. And what I'm doing now is just going at the front line, sustaining all of their damage. Look at that. Even though Draven tried to burst me, I have a lot of sustain in my kit, plus the Death's Dance, and with 2 members down, we just go for a straight end. Overall, really good gameplay from us. Our team was able to follow up, and with good team synergy, we're able to snag a win. 100% Rengar, abusing all of the sustain that we have. Get MVP. Props to the Katarina plus Wukong and Kaisa for doing their job as well. 10, 2, and 8. Most damage taken. And look at my damage. Even though we're playing a tank, we dealt a lot of damage. With that, we got the win. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our Rengar tutorial. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Ciao, ciao.
I'm finally facing it all, fearless.